Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? What up, what up? It's your girl, Audie, getting at you guys with another What It Do at Audie's W-2. I am currently in my office crocheting. Yo, when I got home from work, I crocheted, I ate, crocheted again, and crashed the fuck out. I think I fell asleep for like maybe two and a half, almost 3 hours or something like that. But yeah, I woke up and feeling good or whatever. So yeah, and I was worried that my boss would have forgotten to send me a photo of my schedule, but she sent it to me about like 2 hours ago, and the time right now is 6:47. So yeah, I got my schedule for next week, and yeah, I got my schedule so that I know when to get back from California. And I had mentioned in the previous W-2 that I was excited because I'll be heading to Cali and to see my husband. So I'm really, really excited. I'm gonna start getting some things together that I'm gonna work on with my crochet and knit project. So I'm currently crocheting right now, and you know what I really need to invest in? I mean, I do have like studio lights in my office, and when I was doing like a lot of painting and things, like it does work, but like I don't know, like I feel like I might need better lights. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's something else I can think about in the future. I'm not always in here anymore in my office, since I'm taking a break from painting. But yeah, so this isn't the art struggles. I know I start talking about like yarn, and sometimes I get into like doing Amazon deliveries and like, just the previous things that I used to do, right? Like the deliveries and shopping and delivering with Walmart, or like food deliveries and things like that. So yeah, this is not the Re-Up podcast or the Audie's art struggles, but if you guys want more content to listen to from me, then I will try to remember to drop links to those podcasts. So yeah, so I'm just sitting here crocheting and I wanted to talk about how today went. I only had a 4-hour shift, which a pretty quick shift, and I did say that I wanted to talk about or get into like trying to do and knock out more deliveries. Listen to me. Knock out more shopping orders, right? Like I don't want to just do like just a few and then like, oh, like that was easy. Like I really want to improve, and I do want to get quicker, and being quicker is doing more shop orders. So today I actually did one flash order before I left. I was gonna do a double batch order. It's shopping for 2 customers, and I was about to leave, and then I got a notification that somebody had pulled up to gather their things for, I think it was Uber. So I stayed behind, and then I got those together, and I was waiting for the person, but they didn't show up. And if they don't show up in like within like 5 minutes, then you kind of have to like, take the cart back into the dug room, and just, you have to cancel the handoff. So I did that, and again, I was gonna start I was gonna do that batch order because I had about half an hour, and I was looking at the list, and it was shopping for 2 customers, but it was like a very doable batch order. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to knock this out. And then again, when I was gonna leave, I got like another customer that had pulled up. So I was like, oh no. So I didn't really leave the Doug room. So I was like, okay, well, let me just try to knock this one out. So I got the customer's order together and I went out there, and the customer was complaining about, she's like, I'm gonna have to go inside and talk to your manager. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like, what's the problem? And she was going on about like how she was a what do they call it? I don't want to say an old bird. What do they call it? Oh my god, like a snowbird, right? I think that, oh my god, I don't even remember. But she's like, yeah, I'm a snowbird, and like I come from north, and like it's so ridiculous how the products or the items are like this much, and they expect us to like if we want to buy two, it's gonna like double, or like, and my in my head I'm like, well, all stores do that. Like they kind of like up the price until you become like a free member. And if you're a free member, then yeah, if you buy two, then it'll knock like two $2, $4 off the price of each. Or if you buy like, I don't know, like six of them, like it's a better deal. And yeah, she was just going on about that. And like, yeah, you can say something to the manager, but I just feel like I don't think even the manager has control over that. Like the manager's not the one putting together the paper ads that they hand out at the door as soon as you come in, or they have no control of the pricing on the websites or on the apps. But I was like, oh no, and I do kind of agree, like they, it's business, it is business. But I do believe that they're really trying to like dish out like the really good deals, because I've been like finding a lot of great deals. Like you could get like, oh my gosh, I think it was like a 56 ounce of detergent, and you get like $8 off of that if you clip the coupon and if you're a member. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I was telling my husband like, like these really good deals are making me like want to buy detergent. And in my household, we're good on detergent, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, it's $8 off, And my husband was like, yup, that's how they get you, And I mean, I get it, but you still can't deny that those those are really 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 good deals. So yeah, I don't know, like she was talking about some kind of I don't know if it was like a protein milk or something like that. And it's I didn't know what to say. But yeah, and I had to take her. Oh yeah, and she had ordered like some kind of sausage, and I picked a substitution for her. And remember how I told you guys about the like, oh, they have like 60 seconds to approve or deny. And obviously the timer went out, and I ended up bagging it and staging it. And when she arrived, when I was scanning the totes and getting her things together, a little icon pops up and it says like, oh, this customer does not want this item. You need to pull it from the bag that you just scanned. So I had to pull it. And then when she pulled up to the thing, and I was like, oh, I'm really sorry that we didn't have your sausage. Everybody was just buying everything out for the new year. And then that's when she went off about the about the what she calls a scam or whatever. But yeah, she can talk to the manager about that. So yeah. So and after I did that, and mind you, I only had like a couple minutes, right? And I went back to the Doug room after dropping off that order. I was like, I don't even think I'm gonna have time to do this, to do the double batch order. And so I was debating if I should just continue to do it. And I was like, oh, I'll just try to do it. And again, as soon as I was leaving, a flash order came out. And if you guys remember, a flash order is somebody's gonna come by and pick it up within like 30 minutes, or like if it's like a huge quantity order, they're gonna be there like within the hour. So you literally, or they tell us that we have to stop what we're doing to do a flash order if it ever comes up. I was already like done, and I didn't even start the double batch order. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like unassign the double batch and do the flash order. And it was only, I think it was like 8 items. And I had to shop for like 3 bags of the English muffin buns, like 1 jar of jelly, and this is crazy how I remember it, like 2 cartons of the 18 count eggs, and what else? 2 thick slices of the bacon. And I believe that was it. So it was a very quick and easy shop, and they supposedly were gonna come and pick it up within like 30 minutes. And the girls in the Doug room, they always say like, yeah, like people want like the Doug, or not the Doug, excuse me, they want the flash orders, but they never come to pick it up when scheduled. And I was telling them like, you know what, like all of my years that I've done Instacart and Walmart Spark and all of that, like customers have told me, saying that like, oh yeah, I order ahead, or I paid the extra delivery, or I paid the extra like to jump ahead of other people so that I can receive all my items before they get out of stock. So when I told them that, they were like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, but that was a pretty easy shop. And I met like a new person from the meat department. I met a butcher, and he said that he's been doing that for like 30 years. And I was like, whoa, because I was giving him props. And I like to glaze people up. Like, honestly, like I like to give them compliments. And like I was telling this guy, the new butcher that I met, I was like, wow, impressive, because I told him what I was looking for. And then he just reaches over and he just grabs it. And when I scanned it, it was like the exact meat that I was looking for, and the pounds. And I was like, impressive, and he was all like, kind of acting shy and all that. And, he's a really cool dude. So, yeah, like just, they all impressed me, and I was talking to one of the ladies. Oh, I forget her name. Like I look at her name tag, and like, I don't know, she moves around so much, and I didn't see her name tag yet, but she gave me a really big hug today, and it just made me feel so good. Like she just came up and hugged me, and then I just hugged her back, and we were squeezing and holding each other. It was so nice. It's very nice to get a hug, but I just forget her name. But yeah, like she's so dope. And like she said like, oh, you know what, like I'm still learning, because I was telling her like the meat department is where I struggle, I think, the most. It's the meat department and the liquor department. Like those are the two that I kind of get discouraged, because I'm like, dude, I'm gonna take forever in those departments trying to find whatever the customer wants, because customers, again, they're very picky about like size, the weight, and the price. Is it on sale? Is it, you know what I'm saying? So it's very hard for me. And yeah, she was like, oh, I've only been here like a couple months. And because I told her, like, damn, you're good. You're good. And she would just get really like excited, and she'll start laughing. And, so yeah, like, yeah. So I met another butcher today. He was very, very nice. I met him when I was trying to look for like another thick cut bacon, like before this order of they wanted like two of them. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the one that I need. And he was like, yeah, this one's open. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I think there's some in the back. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I can wait. I'm just going to start bagging all of these things. And I don't think he was going to run back there and get it. So like it was almost like when I said that, like he was about to like do something else. And then when I said that, like he was just like, oh, okay, I'll just go get it right now, Um, and when he came out, I was like, oh, thanks. Like, I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you. Because I didn't know what he was going to do. But yeah, he's super cool, dude. So yeah, he had like a bunch of people coming in for those, because when I did that last flash order, picking up the last two, or not the last two, but yeah, he was like, we're like completely out of those. And like, people think it's a 3-day sale, but it was actually a 2-day sale. And I was like, oh shit, it's about to be a riot in here. And he was like, yeah. So we kind of laughed it off as I was like walking off with my cart to go stage it. But yeah, just cool people. Like, you guys don't understand like how much I love my job. Like, everybody's so cool, everybody's so understanding. And I do realize that with I'm sure with everyone, we're all gonna have like bad days, but like, I would rather get to like know them and know their name and address them by name, and like tell them like they're doing a great job, they're so helpful, like just kind of acknowledge the things that they're doing for us, the customers, and the store. You know what I'm saying? So and I hope that we could all just exchange that positive energy. And you guys know, listening to, whether it be the W-2, whether it be the Y Run, whether it be the Re-Up or the Art Struggles, you guys know that like I just, I flip out. Like, I get angry, I get frustrated, short-tempered. Like, I start, I don't want to say like talking shit, but like that's what it sounds like, right? Like, I get very angry. But like with this job, like, I go in there, like I wake up saying my prayer, like, yo, like today is going to be a great day, Masao, Creator, protect me. Just, keep the negative people away from me. Let this day go by so smooth, just things like that, right? And before I go into the store, like, okay, you know what? No one's going to bother me. No one's going to get to me. Like, I'm just here to do my job. If anyone gives me a bad attitude, I'm just going to allow it to just roll off of me. Right. Like, just like, you know what? Like, okay, you can be mad over there. I'm just here doing this, So, one thing that I did want to share with you is that, I was in this aisle trying to get soap, and I seen like an older gentleman, and he was like, excuse me, where are your combs? And I said, oh, our combs would be like, oh, right down here. So he follows me, and I've always known like my granddad to have like like the little mini combs, and he will stick it in his shirt pocket. So I grabbed him a little one because he had a shirt that had a front pocket. So I gave him that, and he was just like, I need something a little bigger. And I was like, oh, okay. So I grabbed him, a large one. And then I put the other one back. And then he was looking at the large one, and he's like, oh, great. Thank you. And then he kept looking. And then I was like, oh, like you want to look for another one, like of a different size or color. So I was showing him like different ones. And then he was like, you know what? Like, let me just get one of the smaller ones for my truck. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I grabbed it and I gave it to him, and I was like, all right, there you go. And then he was like, great, thanks. And then so we both started walking back to our carts, because we placed I placed my cart right next to his cart, and we were walking back to our carts together. And then I was like, oh, you got to keep looking good, huh? And then he was like, well, he was so cute and so adorable. And he was like, yeah, he was like, for Christmas, New Year's, even Thanksgiving, everybody was wanting to take a picture with me, but they all told me to take off my hat. And it's so when he took off his hat, his hair was so bushy, and I cracked up so hard because it was messy, but it just looked like it looked like cotton candy to me. And I was laughing, and then he was like, yeah, so he's like, I gotta be prepared. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, wow, you gotta keep looking handsome in those pictures. And he was just like, yeah. So yeah, we just wished each other a good day, and he was all walking off. So things like that like make me really happy, to hear these people's like stories of these get-togethers. And I just really hope that it's not short-lived, just because yeah, we just had Thanksgiving, yes, we just had Christmas, we just had New Year's, and I just hope that everybody is as nice as how I met them, all throughout the year. So I'm always telling the customers, like when I do deliveries, like food deliveries, like I'm always telling people like, oh, enjoy your dinner, enjoy your lunch, enjoy your breakfast. I'll see you again. So like I throw them the same message, like, oh, like have a beautiful day. I'll see you again, or I'll see you later. And they're just like, oh yeah, for sure. I shop here a lot. So those conversations, like I do take it personal. A lot of people, they may disagree, like, oh, you shouldn't hang on to it, but like those are good vibes, like those are, like that's why I love being here, like I don't know, I just see nothing wrong with it. If you are protecting yourself properly, because I know some days I'm gonna have like really bad days where I could say my prayer, and I could like give out the good vibes and hope that I'm receiving it back, along with respect for them and receiving the respect. You know what I'm saying? So like I know it's not always gonna be like that, especially like if I have like a longer shift, but it is something that I do want to keep with me, and that's why I want to document and journalize here on the W-2 of these conversations that I'm having with the customers, because it really does make me happy, and I don't want to forget, honestly. It's like when I was talking to the butcher, like sometimes like when I talk to coworkers, it seems like they get not uncomfortable, but like they get what is that word? They start to feel awkward. And I'm really good at carrying on a conversation like naturally. So like once I feel like oh, okay, like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good. Oh, that's good. And then like we all get quiet, like how I said yesterday with with one of my managers. When I feel like they're getting to that point, like when they think that we're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be awkward. I'm just like, oh, so like how long have you been doing this? And he was just like, oh, about like 30 years. And I was like, whoa. And he was like, yeah, he was like, so I kind of know what I'm doing. They really need me here in the store. And I was like, yeah, we do. Like, you're really good at it. Like, you're a pro. And again, like, just glazing them up, you know? And I was like, are you a cook? You know, like, I just kept the conversation going. And he was like, yeah, you know, like, you know, I used to like do it for like a lot of people and, you know, like his family and stuff. And when they're all like, when all his kids like moved out, and he taught all of his kids how to grill and like, you know, the best kind of meats and how to like prepare the meat. And he was like, yeah, a lot of people come to me about advice or like recipes or like how to cook, you know, pork loin or like a beef shoulder, something, ribs, you know, like, I mean, I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but, and I'm like, oh, wow, you know, like, so I made him feel like comfortable because I've always said this to people, like, you know what, like, especially like girls that are trying to like pick up a guy, like, oh, I like this guy, but I don't think, I don't know if he likes me. And I'm just like, you know what, like, and Mary Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie is one of my favorite shows. Don't knock it until you watch like a whole fucking season. Like, you will cry and bawl your eyes out. You'll get mad and you'll be like, damn, that Nellie Olsen, you know, or that Willie Olsen or Harriet Olsen. Like, yeah, you'll get into it. But like Mary Ingalls, she said to Laura Ingalls, her sister, she was just like, yeah, talk about what you know, the boy that you like talk about the things that he's good at, because boys like to talk about things that they're good at. So, you know, I took Mary Ingalls' advice, and it's cute to see, you know, it's cute because it just seems like it brings them back to their youth, and they do like to talk about the things that they're good at, you know. And I think it's nice to see them just kind of like light up and, you know, kind of ease up. So yeah, and that's what I did to the butcher. So now when we seen each other in through passing, because I'm always walking by and getting things from the meat department, like, we're calling each other by our names, you know, and that's nice, you know, and that's respect. So but yeah, what else did I do today? Let's see. I probably did, I want to say, probably 3 shop orders. I did 1 flash order. That's not even including the flash order. So I did 3 regular shops, 1 flash order, and I want to say 2 handouts or handoffs. That's what they call them when we give the items to the customer or the DoorDash driver or whoever that's picking up the groceries. And yeah, I did that in like 4 hours. One of the oh my gosh, that batch order that I did, it was like 30 something items and shopping for 2 customers. Oh my gosh, this woman, she ordered like a bunch of things from the frozen department, and let me tell you, I was freezing this morning. I don't know what it was. I thought maybe like, girl, you're just tired, because when I'm like really sleepy or I didn't get enough sleep, like, I'm very sensitive to the cold. So like, I'll start shaking. It was so weird, but like, I started to shake in my car when I got to work. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll stop shaking and I'll warm up as I'm walking around the store and doing my job. When I went into the store, it was cold. And I was like, I did not bring my scarf. I did not bring a beanie or my ear warmers. And I did not bring any gloves. And I was freezing. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get through these 4 hours. And I kept telling myself, like, it's only 4 hours. Like, it's only 4 hours. Like, the more you're walking around, like, you'll heat up and you'll be fine. That batch order, that woman, oh my gosh. Like, I barely had any room to stick any more of those items in 6 totes. Because, remind you, I'm shopping for 2 people. So like one side of the cart, is one customer and the other side is another customer. That woman's totes, 3 totes, including keeping stuff on top of the cart that I was pushing. It was like, oh my gosh, it was insane. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna fucking bag all of this shit and then stage it. And then put everything away in the refrigerator, put everything away in the freezer, and the shelves. But yeah, like that was a time for me this morning. So that was like the largest order that I did, and it took me about an hour because not only was her things and then the other person's things, I had to maneuver, navigate, and put everything where it needed to be properly. I had people coming up to me like, oh, can you show me where this is? Or can you help me with this? Or like, do you have any more in the back? So you literally have to stop what you're doing and like go back, go where, take them to the product, or go into the back and, push all the milk forward that's in the case, and, things like that. And some of the things that the people were wanting, like, let's say like a hot roasted chicken, right? That's, cooked and, it's in the hot, in the deli, but in the hot, like the hot foods, those aren't ready until like after 10 o'clock in the morning. And like, there were some people that were wanting like croissants and like muffins and French bread that they weren't even on the shelf. Like they were literally like pulling those just out of the oven. Like I was there early this morning. So all of the things that the people wanted, like they weren't even made yet. So I actually had to, I went to the bakery and I just walked back there and I was like, hey, you guys have any French bread like ready to go? And she was like, oh yeah. And so I was happy that I took a chance because the Doug room is on the other side, diagonal of the store from the bakery. So I was like, I'm not about to trek all the way back to the bakery just to snag like a thing of French bread. So she just pulled one off the rack and it was fresh out of the oven. And you guys know how fucking freezing I was. I damn near put both of my hands in the bag and like warm up my hands on the bread, but I was hugging that loaf of bread. I literally was. I was walking around with that thing in my arm, like I was carrying it like a baby. Yeah, like I was I was freezing, you guys. I had my neck and my cheeks all up against it. But don't worry, I made sure that nobody was looking. But yeah, I was walking around with that loaf of bread like I was carrying a baby. So but yeah, and I knocked out that shift. After that flash order, I was like, yeah, I'm out. And I see my boss. And here's a little update about the note that my coworker left that I thought and the girls thought was maybe directed towards me. But okay, before I tell you guys what my boss said, I did not ask because I was asking myself, should I ask him if that was like if he wrote it because of me? And I thought all morning if I should ask him, like, yo, was that directed to, but I didn't want to like come off like that. And I was like, you know what, Audie, slow down, pump your brakes. Don't automatically get mad because you don't want to start shit at a job that you fucking love. You don't want to start nothing. Even though it's not your fault, like, it's the way that you react. Like, don't do that. This isn't Amazon. This isn't, all those other jobs that I was doing. You love it here. So I was like, okay. So he was telling me about one of the girls. She started last night, last night she started to do a pick order, but I guess she just abandoned the pick because when I logged into my device this morning, I saw her name as if she was there doing a pick order. And I was like, oh, she's here right now? And I was all over the store and I was like, I didn't see her. So that's what he was telling me about in the Doug room. He was like, I don't know why she started the pick and didn't finish it, but he was like, oh, I wish she wouldn't do that. And you could tell he was like, oh, don't do that. You know, like he was kind of like that. And I was like, yeah, you know, like maybe they just cut off the system or something because she's always there late. So I tried telling him that, but like he was still ranting. So I don't think he even heard me. And when he was done talking, you know, I counted like 3 seconds and I was like, oh yeah, by the way. And I said, if there's anything that I'm doing wrong or something that you don't like or like something that, you know, like just tell me. Like, you know, if I'm doing anything wrong, just let me know. Like you can tell me. And then he's just like, oh no, like you're cool. You know, but you kind of wrote that note for like a reason. And like this morning, it was just me and you here. And maybe you did see me stick a sticker on a shopping cart, you know, like, and no one else was here but me and you. So, you know, but I just made it a point, you know, respecting him and the situation. Like, if I'm doing anything wrong, like, just tell me. Like, and I will correct it. And he was just like, oh, no, like, you're good. Like, everything's good. So I was like, all right. You know, at least I said something to him. Okay, so skipping ahead to speaking to my boss before I clocked out. She came in there and she was like, how's everything? How was everything all morning? I said, oh, everything was great. Like, you know, we had orders and, you know, we were just out on the floor and, you know, like everything is great. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. And I was like, okay, so I don't know if anyone sent you the picture about the note. And she was like, yeah, the note. And then she was like kind of in a hurry. So like she, you know, again, talking fast. And she was like, don't think nothing of it. It's just him being him, you know. And if there's ever a note that has like because this particular coworker, when he writes an I, like the dot over the I, he writes a circle over the I. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, yeah, if you see a note that has that circle over the I, she's like, that's him. Like, that's him writing a note. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's just like, you know what? Like don't, like, he's just being him. Like, you know, he's very like OCD. You know, don't think nothing of it. Like I'm the one that calls the shots, not him. And I was like, okay, well, I just didn't want to overstep anyone because I really love it here. And she's just like, oh my gosh, you're the best. And so, yeah, I went to take an item back to the shelf and I was going to go straight to clocking out, but I was like, oh, maybe I should ask her about my schedule. So I went back to the Doug room and then I seen this other girl that works there. And I hardly see her that often, so it was nice to see her. So I said, what's up to her? And I was like, about my schedule. And she was like, oh, yeah, when it comes out, I will take a picture and send it to you. How about that? And I said, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you so much. So she delivered, and I said thank you. You know, she's the best, and have a restful night. So, yeah, that was my 4-hour day. I enjoyed it. It was nice. It went by quickly. And yeah, I did take my 10-minute break. I had a wafer bar and talked to my husband a little bit. I even did a little bit of crocheting. And yeah, like 45 minutes after that, I clocked out. So yeah, and I was surprised that I was on my feet for like 3 hours because like my feet really start to get like really, really sore and painful in like 2 hours. So I was surprised that my feet were like they lasted the 4 hours or 3 hours, excuse me. And then I took my break and then yeah, I took off. So but yeah, that was my shift today, and I'm off tomorrow. On I go back on Sunday, and I go in at noontime, and then I think I get out at 5 o'clock p.m. But I have to double check because she took a photo of the schedule, and I don't know if it said till 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So when I go in on Sunday, I'm gonna double check the schedule and be like, oh, okay, it's actually this time. So yeah, it's crazy, but I'm really excited to see my husband. And yeah, I'm probably gonna start getting some things together. Probably tomorrow. I just want to spend the rest of the evening crocheting and, editing this and getting this out for you guys to be posted tomorrow. And I hope you guys enjoyed the W-2. And oh yeah, guess what? And I told my husband, and he didn't say anything about it. So I'm guessing he's thinking I'm a good girl because he didn't get mad. He didn't get mad at me. But I actually bought some microphones to clip to my work shirt as I'm working so that I can keep talking to you guys, making these audio clips, because I don't know if you guys caught on to everything I was saying, but one of the grocery managers, the one that was in the room, the one that we said what's up to each other and then we got really quiet, him, like, he kept walking by me, and every time he walked by me, I had my cell phone up to my face. So I don't want him to think that I'm just like on the phone, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to get something. I do have 2 portable microphones already, but they're kind of big. Like they're like an inch square all the way around. And yeah, I think people now know that those are microphones. So I got me microphones that are a lot smaller. So if anybody asks, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that's my tracker of how many steps I'm taking. So yeah. So those come in the mail tomorrow. So they're gonna be all charged up. We're gonna test it out on the floor at work. So that's gonna be interesting, and I hope you guys will be there for it. So all right, that is it for this episode. Thank you all so much for pressing play, and I hope you guys enjoy coming to work with me. And yeah, I will get back to you guys maybe on Monday. Let's see, let's look at the calendar. Yeah, I'll probably check back in with you guys Monday, because if I work Sunday and we're doing a test run on the microphones on that work day, I will try my best to get an episode out to you guys on Monday, which is gonna be January 5th. Okay, so I hope you guys will check back and look out for that. And again, thank you guys so much for pressing play. Don't forget to add, rate, comment, subscribe, follow, and share. And yeah, I'll check back in with you guys on Monday. Peace.